What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update regarding injuries and potential transfer stories as well. Before we get into that, please do head over to wearetottenhamtv.com for your latest articles, and also we're on podcasting platforms such as Spotify for your audio versions as well. But let's get straight into the update, and we're going to start off with the biggest concerning news regarding Destiny Udogie, as he confirmed on Instagram a couple of days ago, an injury brings my season to an early end. It doesn't take away from how grateful I am to every person that has supported me this year. And Spurs official did confirm, he says, we can confirm Destiny Udogie has undergone surgery to his left quadriceps, having sustained an injury in training earlier this week. The defender will continue his rehabilitation with our medical staff and expected to rejoin the squad during pre-season. We're all behind you, Destiny. Yeah, so that is a massive kick in the face regarding Destiny Udogie, out for the North London derby, out for the remainder of the season, and he's also going to miss the Euros in the summer as well. What a great season he's had, and it's just a shame it had to end this way just before such a massive game.
Yeah, it's absolutely gutting, and it's gutting for Spurs as well, because he's such an important player for them, because of how important we play with the fullbacks. You know, how they invert, how they defend as well. Udogie's a massive part of that, with his strength, with his speed, how he's performed this season. He's been a very important cog to that backline. So with him missing now, that is a very concerning development, and the fact it's come out of nowhere as well is really hard to take. And it's just, you know, out of nowhere, Spurs announced he's just out for the season after no hint of an injury. Obviously, he clearly has been struggling with something recently, because I don't think he's been at his best for a few weeks, to be honest. So maybe it's just a culmination of he's been struggling with something, then he aggravated it in training, and now he has to have surgery on it. So absolutely gutting about Destiny, because we really needed him for the run-in. And it's all about how we go about replacing him and how we go about managing the situation without him, because he's one of the few players who we don't really have a natural replacement for. Yeah,
exactly. And you're looking at the players that can potentially fill in that role. I mean, Ryan Sessegnon's also out, who we haven't seen in a very long time. And yeah, we are going to do a video on how Spurs could potentially line up a few different alternatives to Destiny Udogie, so watch out for that. But in other injury news, we're talking about Pedro Porro, who's also been out since, well, he went off injured in the Newcastle game, didn't he, with a hamstring injury. Paul O'Keefe says that Pedro Porro is being assessed. Tottenham are hopeful that he will make it for the North London derby.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not hopeful, to be honest, that he's going to make it. The way he pulled up against Fulham, he was punching the ground and he didn't seem happy about the situation at all. That tells me that it's going to be unlikely he'll face Arsenal. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope he will. Because if both fullbacks are out, it's going to be a big struggle, not just on the ball, but off the ball, containing Arsenal as well. So it's a real difficult situation. The last time we had both fullbacks out, I think it was Wolves at home, and we ended up losing. And that was a big part of the reason we lost, is their struggles in that position. I remember Pedro Neto had a field day that day.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult. Let's just hope that he can make a recovery. But I'm also worried about him being rushed back and then aggravating the injury and then being out for the season as well. So they've got to play it safe.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we're in a bit of a precarious situation going into the North London derby this weekend. But in terms of potential transfers, let's talk about Giovanni Lo Celso, as Estadio Deportivo claimed that Tottenham midfielder Giovanni Lo Celso will be one of Real Betis's big targets this summer. And there's even some quotes from the Betis sporting director, Manu Fajardo, and he says Lo Celso is a player who has already proven his worth here, who continues to do so when he goes with the Argentinian national team, and who is also very complimentary to Nabil Fekir. So it's clear where their head's at.
Doesn't mention any form for Spurs, does it?
No.
Doesn't mention he proved his worth when he played in a Tottenham shirt. Maybe he's so rarely seen in a Tottenham shirt, but it'd be a good signing for Betis. Obviously, he had his best season probably of his career when he was at Betis, which convinced Spurs to part with the best part of 50 million to sign him. I think he got 16 goals in that season, and you know, watching him for Betis, he seemed like a really good attacking midfielder who can get on the score sheet and get goal contributions. He's never really been that for Spurs, unfortunately, whether it be in time on the pitch or the position he's taken up. So for me, if it works for all parties, that'll be a really good solution. Again, I like Lo Celso. If Spurs decide to keep him around because they really believe in his quality, I think he's a good player. And I think he's a good squad option, but it's always that age-old problem about getting him on the pitch. That's always been his biggest issue at Tottenham. And for me, if we can get a cut price deal to sell him, use that money to reinvest in the squad, I think I'd go in that direction if Betis are willing to put up the money. Yeah,
absolutely, especially with him going into his final year of his contract. I mean, as much as we all like him as a player and the talent that he does have, it's the injuries that are always going to hold him back. So I think it's time to probably move him on this summer. Next up, we're going to be talking about Timo Werner, as Palermo Calcio say that Roma intend to move for Timo Werner should Tottenham Hotspur pass on the opportunity to sign the forward permanently. Roma have decided against signing Romelu Lukaku and have identified the German as an alternative to him.
I don't think Werner's anything like Lukaku, so that's strange. Especially
maybe they're going in a different direction because they got a new manager.
But especially the way he's been playing for Tottenham, he's not even a striker unless they see him with another change. But when it comes to whether Spurs should take him up, obviously we've been saying recently that we should take him up because he's done such a good job on the left wing. But I'm starting to get worried, to be honest, about whether him signing on the wing means we're not going to sign another left winger. And if that is the case, I don't want to sign Timo. And Ali Gold is saying that he reckons Son's going to be moved back out to the left next season. I just read an opinion from Lily White Rose, who obviously has a few contacts at the club, and he's saying that if Tottenham were to go for someone like a Nico Williams, they wouldn't sign him and Werner, would probably one or the other. And if that was the case, I would definitely not sign Timo. I would definitely go for an upgrade in that left wing position, go for a younger option, and as well go for an option that's starting to look ahead in terms of a replacement for Son for the future. We know Son's a great player, he still has a lot to give, but at 31, going to be 32 next season, you have to start thinking about life after Son. And Timo Werner doesn't do that for me, if that's going to be the case. So, again, if Son's going to be seen as a striker for next season, I'm happy to bring Timo if it means bring another one in. But if Tottenham are thinking to next season of using Son more as a left winger and not a striker, I don't think we should be signing Timo.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Like, if we were to sign Timo Werner as our only winger option this summer, I'll be very angry in terms of that, trying to move us forward. That just doesn't move us forward whatsoever. It really doesn't. So Timo Werner is only acceptable if he's like a squad filler and a squad option for next season. And look, if Roma are serious about him and Roma want to bring him in, then that kind of takes away that decision. If we don't, well, it doesn't, because we got first option on him for 15 million. So I like Timo. I do like Timo. But like you say, if he's going to be our first option, I prefer him just to go to Roma.
No, but the thing is, I don't think if we sign him and Son's going to be our left winger, I don't think he would be our first option. Obviously, Son would be. So
when I said first option, I mean like in the bringing into the club the signings in the summer. First option. That's what I meant. So like. So we need, like you say, we need a succession plan for Son. You can't bring in Timo Werner and think that's a succession plan for Son. Nico Williams is sitting there waiting with a 43 million release clause. Go and get him, and if you do go and get him, then it's acceptable to bring in Timo Werner as well. Not just Timo Werner and that's it. It's a ridiculous way to manage the transfer window.
I'm starting to get a bit concerned. I'm starting to get a bit concerned. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.